Hey guys, this is Experience J, here to tell you a little bit about Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or your computer. Creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. They'll distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I tried to escape this facade, a life that was not my own. But as time passed by, my heart grew weary until I was no more, and living my truth was only a bittersweet memory. Hello?
Hello? Is this Keena Matthews?
No, she's not here at the moment. May I ask who's calling and for what purpose?
Ma'am, this is Peter with Bryington Collections. This is an attempt to collect a debt, and any information given will be used for that purpose.
Okay, well, I'll let her know you called.
Okay, we can be reached anytime at 888-878. Hello?
Yep. On top of everything else I had going on, I was in debt. And not just regular debt. I was in full-fledged thousands of dollars in debt. That good old call you every day from an unavailable number kind of debt. And that final notice, straight-up collections, if you don't pay us, we gonna garnish your check and take your ass to court kind of debt. Most of it was from student loans. And shit, had I known they were gonna stalk my ass like this, I would have tried my best to make sure I obtained that degree so that at least it wouldn't be in vain. A lot of it is my fault. I accept it. Even after being warned about the dangers of credit cards and loans, all I kept thinking was I just needed one or two to help me get where I needed to be. I'm not making excuses, but I didn't have a college fund to look forward to. I was the first in my immediate family to go to college, and my mother didn't exactly save or plan for that. So I had to come up with creative ways to stay in school as long as I could. They say hindsight is 20/20, and damn if they weren't right. Had I stayed my ass in state, I would have been able to handle it. Oh, but no, I just had to go off to the University of Tallahassee, my dream school. But those out-of-state tuition fees were more like a damn nightmare. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I managed to make it back my junior year, but eventually I was all out of options and had to bring my happy ass back home to face the real world. That's when I found my job at Tubman Academy. It was like a blessing in disguise because I spent the entire summer sulking and pissed off with myself because I was all out of resources. My plan was to work there for 2 years, save up some money, and head back to school to finish up my final year. Needless to say, I never made it back. I felt defeated. Coming back home was like admitting that I had fucked everything up. Nobody treated me like that, but I've always been super hard on myself, and I just couldn't believe that my plan had derailed. By 21, I should have graduated, had a good-ass job, and been working towards building a legacy. But instead, I spent the next few years writing songs that never got placed, writing books that never ranked, and working at a job with no real gratification. I wanted to do great things, and a part of me always knew that I would. I just never expected that it would take this long. I mean, some days I just think back and wonder how things would have been had I done them a little bit differently. I don't regret my decisions. No matter how silly and juvenile they might have been, they've ultimately led me here to this very moment. And since we don't get no do-overs, I have to proudly stand in it. I've had one hell of a ride.
Hey, Matthews, how's it going?
Hey, Mr. E, it's going.
I hear that. Everything all right with you? You've been kind of different lately.
Different how?
It's almost like you're here, but you're not here.
It's funny you said that, because that's exactly how I feel.
So why are you still wasting all that talent in a place like this? You're not supposed to be here.
Man, listen.
I know I always tell you you're going to be famous one day, and I ain't playing. I can feel it. You don't belong here.
You're preaching to the choir. But unfortunately, talent doesn't always pay the bills. And I'll be honest, sometimes I feel kind of stuck.
So what are you doing to get unstuck?
Good question. I mean, I'm working on a few things, so hopefully that takes off. And in the meantime, I'm just here.
Well, do better.
What?
Do more, Matthews. It's not good enough for you to just be here. Light that fire under your ass and get out of here before it's too late.
Damn, you make it sound like a horror movie or something.
Trust me, there's nothing scarier than looking up and realizing your entire life has passed you by. Or worse, that you have absolutely nothing to show for it. Believe me, I'm a living testimony.
I hear you. I'm doing my best. I don't plan on being here forever, and I know I gotta get out.
Yeah, you got something special, girl, and you need to stop taking it for granted. Don't be like me, Matthews. I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah, I hear you, Mr. E. I really do.
Well, my 15-minute break is over, but remember what I said, Matthews, I'm serious.
I had to give it another shot. There was no way around it. Writing is all I've ever known, and if I had to stop doing that, I would die. There's just no way I could live without sharing my words with the world. Sometimes I get discouraged because I'm definitely not where I plan to be at almost 30, but just because I've had some failures doesn't mean that my success is not on the way. That's what ultimately encouraged me to write my next book. I was feeling down and out one day, and I ran across something inspirational online. It was like the confirmation that I shouldn't give up. It was as if he was talking directly to me. Man, it was crazy.
You've got to step out on faith. God has instilled in you something great. But at the end of the day, it has to be you. It has to be you who decides to really tap into your purpose. When you step out on faith, it isn't just a figure of speech. You literally have to make the next move. And with this understanding that God is the one guiding each step. Stepping out on faith doesn't mean that everything will come in an instant. It doesn't mean that all your problems are magically solved. But what stepping out on faith essentially does is let God know that you're ready for Him to be in complete control and that you're prepared to go to the next level. Now, it won't always feel good. Trust me. You will have those sleepless nights, those lonely days. You'll go through feelings of inadequacy and doubt. And stepping out on faith may even have you questioning if this is all really worth it. You have to believe that it is. He will take you to a place that you've never imagined, but it ultimately starts with you. You have some untapped potential within you that God is ready to spring forth and bring to the forefront if you just trust Him. But you have to let Him lead. That's the key. Push past the pain, the struggle, those finances, those naysayers, those things that continue to keep you bound. Push past all of that and stand in your purpose, because your time is now.
You gotta understand something. For me, writing this book was like the most courageous thing I've ever done. Being open and talking about my life, I never imagined I'd do anything like that. It's always kind of been don't ask, don't tell with me. If you didn't ask, then I didn't tell you. I'm the strong and silent type, keep everything bottled in and only share with certain people on a need-to-know basis. Don't get me wrong, I was definitely outgoing and I like to have fun, but for me, it was the quiet time and that inner peace that made me feel whole. And honestly, I just wasn't the type to share my business with everybody. And now here I was about to release a tell-all book about my life. Would people want to read it? I didn't know, but deep down in my spirit, I could feel that it was going to be the one that took me to the next level. I couldn't explain how, but when you just have a feeling that some good shit is about to happen? That's exactly how I felt when I was writing. Now, when I say tell-all, I don't mean like a scandal. Lord knows I have enough going on in my life without trying to create some scandal. But just being able to tell my story wholeheartedly, man, that was a big move for me. This was a book of fiction based on a true story. My story. This was a story about a woman of vision who saw past her current conditions and went for her dreams. In the process of reaching goals that she's always envisioned, she encounters devastating life happenings that has her second guessing her decision to chase the dream. Damn, that was me. In just a few short weeks, the book would be out and everyone who read it would know me on a whole new level. Was I afraid of that? Hell yeah. But this was way bigger than me. The moment I put that pen to the paper and started spilling my life, I knew I had something special. Now, of course, there are always people who don't want to see you succeed. I call them dream killers. You know, the ones who say things like, nobody knows you. Why would they want to hear your story? What makes you so special? Why don't you just wait until you're famous? Nah, I wasn't going to wait. My time was right now. I was going to share my story with the world and boldly accept my truths. I had a pretty decent following on social media, but I just wasn't sure it would be enough. Of course I had my doubts. Was I good enough? Was this good enough? What made this any different from the other books I had written? But there was just something about this one. Sleepless nights, long days. I just couldn't wrap my mind around not writing it. That's how I knew that this one would be much different for me. I'm not all super religious, but I do believe that God placed this one right in my hands. Sometimes when I go back and read it, I honestly can't even remember everything that I wrote. That's how I know it's divine. I wrote this book in private. No one knew about it. That was done purposely. This book contained information that might just ruin some friendships and relationships. It was definitely not my intention to do so, but sometimes when you stand in your truth, people aren't always ready to receive it. But I had mentally prepared myself for this. And yes, I thought about this shit a million times before I put certain things inside. But ultimately, I had to let my pen bleed. I tried it everyone else's way, but this time, it would be on my own terms, my way, and I had no apologies about it. I had plans to release it on a special day and reveal it to all of my closest friends and family. The way this was going to blow up, there would be no turning back. I felt that gut-wrenching feeling that kept telling me I had to do this, and I never go against that feeling. Never. The icing on the cake was when I received a call from Diamond Nowhere Publications, one of the largest book publishers in African American fiction. I had sent off my manuscript nearly a year prior and never heard anything back. I just assumed they weren't interested, and so I kept it moving. But I got it. Get it poppin', crazy. And I tell them I can't stop, and I won't stop. No, I can't stop, and I won't stop. No, I can't stop. No, I swear I just want to do something monumental. Who is this killing my vibe? Ugh. Hello?
Hello, is this Keena Matthews of Keena Tells All?
Yes, this is she.
Hi, this is Lisa Gooden of Diamond Noir Publications. I recently had the opportunity to read your manuscript, and I loved it. I would like to discuss the possibility of a 2-book deal.
Are you serious?
Yes, it's amazing. It's raw and edgy, but it's real. It's everything today's fiction is missing. I'll email you the paperwork if you're ready to move forward with this. It will explain all the details. You can look over it and let me know.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm actually about to release Keena Tells It in a few short weeks. I decided to self-publish.
You do know that unless you already have a platform, self-publishing won't get you any money.
Oh, is that so?
Listen, I'm all about making money, and I see the potential in this book. If I were you, I would definitely reconsider. This is the opportunity of a lifetime.
And I appreciate it. You can email me the paperwork, and I'll look over it before I give you my final decision.
Sounds good. I look forward to hearing from you soon, and hopefully we can do business. I could have this book out on the bestsellers list in less than 6 months. But it's all on you, so let me know.
Will do. Thanks so much for this opportunity. I'll be in touch soon.
All right, Keena. Talk to you later.
Once I got off that phone, I knew it would be the last time I'd ever speak to Lisa Gooden. She had the opportunity of a lifetime, but it just wasn't for me. I wasn't an idiot. I knew what signing with her meant for me, but it simply wasn't my path. I kept hearing something within me saying there was more. Be patient and stand still. I had to be obedient to that word, no matter how good of a deal came my way. Earlier, I mentioned that writing this book was the most courageous thing I've ever done. But I lied. Giving up on a 2-book deal with a major African American publisher and making the decision to self-publish even after knowing all of the risks, now that was courageous, and some might consider downright stupid. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Past Due was created and executive produced by Experience J, mixed by Dab Phantom, music and sound design by Dab Phantom and Leo Zaruki, podcast intro produced by Jonathan Gaither. Past Due was written by Experience J, starring Experience J, with an ensemble cast played by Bilal Wright, John Felix Perez, James Black, and Nofi Mitchell. Musical artists featured on this episode include Tyler Avery. On the next episode of Past Due. I mean, I get it. The power of the pussy is something serious. But nah, this was more than that. He was insane.
Keena, baby, pick up. Why you doing this? What'd I ever do to you? I thought we was friends. You know, you make me fucking sick to my stomach sometimes. You ain't shit anyway. Fuck you. You think you just treat people like shit and get away with it? Nah, it don't work that way. You hear me, Keena? It do not fucking work that way.